President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans. We have a great economic plan. We will double our growth and have the strongest economy anywhere in the world. At the same time, we will get along with all other nations willing to get along with us. They will be. We'll have great relationships. We expect to have great relationships. No dream is too big, no challenge is too great. Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division, have to get together. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people.
Time to come together as one united people. A year ago today, Donald Trump shook the world, as Muhammad Ali would say, with his upset win for president over Hillary Clinton. Freudian slip there. Today, he marked the occasion with a tweet. Congratulations to all the deplorables and the millions of people who gave us a massive electoral college landslide victory. So he promised to bring us all together. Let me start this and come. He promised to bring us all together. Are we all together? And if not, why not?
Well, we're certainly not all together, and I don't think any politician can bring everyone all together all of the time. But Trump was very clear, you know what you were getting with him, which was America first. And I think we're seeing that, or at least starting to see that, on his tour of Asia that he's on right now. Trump likes winners. He did congratulate Chinese leader Xi Jinping about, his such big victory. Well, it's easy to have a big victory when you're the only name on the ballot. So I think Trump's loyalty is to Trump. I don't think Trump is loyal to a party, but I do believe Trump is loyal to this country. Does that mean I think he does it the right way all the time? Not necessarily, but I think we're headed in a positive direction.
Okay.
I think we're more divided than ever. And by the way, I'm really glad that he reminded us of the Electoral College win, because he doesn't do that every 2-3 days.
Right.
The Democrats have picked up so many different issues and pegged Trump where they know they can hit him, where he won't answer questions over and over again about denouncing and disavowing white supremacists and white nationalists. They've created this Russian narrative that has continued on and on and on for months now, with no actual evidence of the collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign. People are still fighting more than ever. And you can see it on social media, you can see it on the streets, more protests than I think we've ever seen.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the other way on that. He has certainly done his share of that, but he has unified this country in a way that I think is unseen in recent years. And that is, you got incompetence and people who want competence. All right. And what I see from the president is in a unique ability to inflame people for his own purposes and distract and deflect attention for his own mistakes, rather, and do whatever he needs to do to get wherever he wants to go. That's not leadership, and I think he's unifying people into seeing that.
Well, first of all, I take exception to Muhammad Ali and Donald Trump being mentioned in the same sentence, so let me say that. I also,
unless the sentence is they shouldn't be mentioned in the same sentence.
Precisely. But I don't know how you can intend to unify a country when you more or less coddle and really help facilitate the growth of white supremacy into the American mainstream by equating them with anti-racist and anti-fascist protesters when you do this saber rattling against countries like North Korea, which only seeks to defend themselves, sort of arbitrarily calling out these bands of trans folk in the military and things like this. I mean, Trump's whole character, his whole steez, if you will, his whole way of being is anchored in divisiveness. That's how we got into the White House.
I want you guys to listen to what Donald Trump said about China during the campaign, okay? Take a listen to this.
What China did to this country, it was pillage. I mean, they pillaged this country. They did things to us with trade deficits that were unbelievable, and part of that comes out of the Secretary of State.
So he's in China and he pivots, okay? Anybody got a problem with that? Or is that Trump being Trump?
It's Trump being Trump. Everything is great or everything is awful right away, and then he thinks about it, and there's a more formulaic response in the end.
And that was one of his nicer comments about China. You know, he said an awful lot more.
Yeah, I actually can respect a leader who says new facts that I wasn't aware of lead me in a different position. That's not necessarily what he's about.
I haven't heard that, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
but you're right. That's part of leadership. You know, being able to see new facts that you didn't previously see.
Right.
That's not his deal, because accepting that new facts lead you in new directions is, to his way of thinking, an admission of weakness or failure. And so you get some of what you see here.
You know, you look at the polls, okay? What is it? 30% approval, or 30% of the people think, CNN poll today thinks Donald Trump is not qualified to be president. They shouldn't be president. We should move in a different direction. How do you respond to that? How does he begin to pick up and try to lead and put things back together when you see those kind of numbers? 1 year in.
Right, he has to start showing results, and he should have done it a lot sooner than today. But I think if you look at what Trump has done, he's kind of superseded the party structure. It certainly was not Republicans promoting him, it was him dragging Republicans along.
Right.
And if you look at why people, especially young people, are fleeing both parties, it's because look at what they stand for. You had two candidates with record disapproval ratings. Both of these people, whether you think it's right or wrong, they were really widely hated. And as for me, I don't want to be a deplorable, because that's gross, and I don't like some of the things that they do. I also don't want to be a nasty woman, because I think what Hillary says is playing the woman card. She means as being female. What Trump meant was being corrupt and lying about it, and doing that for a pattern of several decades. So neither party has a brand that I think, frankly, many other people
I'm trying to figure
associated with.
I'm trying to figure out what Donald Trump does for the next 3 years. We're only ending year one.
Well,
and trying to get tax reform through, and there's a lot of questions as to what it's going to look like, if at all. What if he doesn't get it through? Then what do we do?
Well, here's one thing that we need to take a look at. It's not what Trump is doing. It's what this Republican Congress had promised for like 6-7 years under Obama. They said that we were going to overturn Obamacare. Then when they get the guy in office that can actually sign the legislation, they scare off of it.
They were misguided, though. Voters in Virginia, health care was a big deal to them. I mean, they spent too much time with affordable health care. To voters in Virginia, that, you know, they didn't want them dismantling affordable health care. They wanted it fixed, if I understand it correctly. I'm sorry.
So listen, this is a great example of how politics can be sort of misguided. So the Republicans say, we need to keep our promises. But what if your promises are bad? Right. Okay, you're promising to take health care away from people. Is that supposed to be something that unifies people or attracts people to your brand? Congress has failed on a number of counts, and they were phony for years about
Is this a tidal wave we're seeing here? Snowball, downhill? You don't think so? You think it... Go ahead. Let me quick answers. You think?
No, I think this is pretty much status quo.
Okay.
Trump might make himself emperor by the end of this thing.
Too early to know.
Okay.
I don't think Trump could bring himself to care about polls.
Right. Okay. All right. Back in a minute. Stay with us.